Hello, trading is closed on April 6, 2017. Let's go over yesterday's calls. I said unless we gapped under these lows that supported this area would tend to hold. Support we said would go to one bar underneath this TDST line. And we thought that were that to hold, be reasonable for us to see 2365. The high was 2364 and change. That's close enough for me. The target is not based on the MEJT system, so 2365 doesn't have to print the way it does in MEJT. During the day, the system identified these squiggles as false moves, gave a buy in the appropriate place. It's been satisfied, and we closed at a support resistance level, support resistance area. Well, dropping to a new low and failing to add on to it, failing to hold it, is positive unless we gap down and promptly take out this low. Rallying all day long, failing to take out these highs is negative unless we invalidate it and gap up and promptly take out this high. Conflicting signals. My rule says most likely we gap outside of the day's range. Next most likely as we close it'll change. So let's take a look at some stuff and come up with a prediction. Here's the problem with today's close. You'd make a Fibonacci grid over the recent advance and you're stalling right at the 38.2% level. That's a sign of a weak rally. The fact that we couldn't close over the prior highs is negative enough, but we couldn't even close past some intraday lows. And unless that's invalidated early, it's a sign of weakness. This is the count I've been using. I think we're in gray wave C down. A's completed. Here's a B completed. I don't think that level at 2378 plus is going to be seen again for a long time. And we're in wave green C down. I've tried to clean up my count a little bit to make the letters the same in all the charts. So here's your A, here's your B, and we're in C, and then it's our job to count it. Well, here's your B. I think that's a wave 1, and that's a wave 2, and that's a wave 3. That's pretty easy. The rest isn't so easy. This is a possible count. It's not the only one, but there's a guideline of alternation, and if that's 2, you like wave 4 to be an expanded flat, and you've got your 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up. So that's a possible wave 4 completing here. Now it could be A of 4, but this looks like an impulsive move to me. And if that's A, you really have to fudge, I think, to get your B and your C. So let's pretend that's the count, and let's look at the Fibonacci relationships. If that's wave 1, wave 5 is a perfect 0.618 times wave 1. If you take wave 1 through wave 5, here's the Fibonacci relationship to the end of wave 1. And if you forget this 4 and the 5, because the actual impulse wave ended here, you'll see the height of what could be the height of wave 2 ends right at a retracement of this initial impulse. Now if that's 4 and that's 5, you then have to say that wave blue 1's over, and you have to count wave blue 2. Well, there's your 3 waves up for A, There's your 3 waves down for B. And if this is 3 waves up for C, it's 50% of A, and it ends right here at this blue line within a 4th wave of lesser degree. So that makes this a plausible end to wave 2. And if this count, which is one of many counts, if this is the right count, we should gap down sharply tomorrow, undercut this low, and be in wave 3 down. Now, how low could wave 3 down take us? Well, this low here is 2353.68. So if we set this at 2353.68 and the high at 2378 and change, and then we measure from this blue line, which is what I'm calling the end of wave 2 possibly, you get some reasonable targets, not for a day: 2332.80, 2325.18, 2317.56, and perhaps even 2292.88. So if we get down sharply tomorrow, everything falls into place for a drop which could be pretty good size, and typically you'd see a 161.8 move of this, which I guess is 2317.56. So tomorrow's call says the open's critical. I'm expecting a gap outside of the day's range. If we don't have one, then we'll close, it'll change, but I think there's a good case to be made for us to gap down at the open and continue dropping, even though tomorrow's pattern typically hits its low in the first hour and rallies throughout the day. It would imply that the opening drop would be pretty big, and if that isn't what happens, I strongly suspect something else will be going on, and that's today's call.